Grammar is a nightmare for most students. Grammar is a nightmare for most students. If you ask a schoolboy, which book will you throw away if you are given a chance? You throw away one book from your school bag. The boy is likely to throw away the grammar book. He would gladly take out the grammar book and throw it deep into the Pacific Ocean. It's a nightmare for the students. And parents think that my child is less intelligent. He does not understand English. He is getting less marks in English. It's not your child. Children are not less intelligent, but because they were. Who were they? They means the grammarians who created the grammar rules. They had no idea. They had zero idea. They were people of zero intelligence because they imagined that language would be used in a particular way in a society which they had created in their imagination. In their imagination, they had created an ideal society and they thought that grammar would be used in that society and language would be used in that society. An ideal society, an imaginary society, an unrealistic society. That is what I think they were dreaming of. But their dream and their imagination, that's not the real society. So they made rules they themselves did not understand. And one author copied those rules. The second author copied from the first author. The third author copied from the second author. The fourth author copied from the third author, but nobody knew anything. Nobody really understood. Even the person who is writing a grammar book with all the fancy degrees in English, even the author really does not understand grammar. He had copied it from another book. And he had copied it from another book, and that author had copied it from another book. And that author had copied it from another book. All just copy paste, nothing else. They do not understand. Even the grammarians do not understand. Who created grammar, who created the rules, they did not understand. And what the authors and the teachers will understand? So we will show you that grammar rules are created in utter disregard of the practical use of language, the practical demands of the language in a real society. So starting with small firecrackers, we will explode and ultimately will come to a nuclear bomb. Boom! The real bomb is going to burst. But let's start with small firecrackers. And we will prove that the grammarians did not understand the rules they themselves made. So let's go one by one. We will show you the evidence. Now let us take a simple case. Complicated case we will see later. Very simple case. The something which you are teaching to I think even class 1 child. Even to a class 1 or 2 child you are teaching these things. Singular, plural. Okay, very good. How do you teach? Or what is written in the book? 1 equal to singular, 2 or more equal to plural. That's what you teach. 1 boy, 3 boys, 1 pen, 5 pens, 1 girl, 2 girls. That's how you teach. So 1 equal to singular, 2 or more, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 2 or more equal to plural. That's how you teach. 1 equal to singular, 2 or more equal to plural. So that means we are living in the world of natural numbers. After 1 only 2, after 2 only 3. There's no 1.5, there's no 0, there's no -1, there's no -2, no fractions, no negatives, nothing less than 1, nothing between 1 and 2. So what would be 0.5? 0.5 is not 1. It is not 2 or more. You are saying 1 equal to singular, 0.5 is not 1. It is less than 1. It is not 2 or more. 1.7, it is neither 1 nor 2. It is neither 1 nor 2. So meter or meters, what will you say? 0.5 meter or 0.5 meters? 1.7 meter or 1.7 meters, because they are neither singular nor plural. 0.5 and 1.7, that is not 1, and also that does not fit 2 or more, that condition. 1 equal to singular, 2 or more equal to plural, 0.5 is neither 1 nor 2 or more, 1.7 is neither 1 nor 2 or more. So what do you say, meter or meters? So grammarians were living in a world of natural numbers. They thought that people will only talk about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 1.7, 0.5, minus 1.2. They did not even imagine. That's what I said. They were making rules and they were living in a fool's paradise. Living in a fool's paradise. They thought that everything would be in terms of 1, 2, 3. No 0, no minus 1, no 1.5, no 2.5. Very beautifully they made the grammar. But when the child comes to say class 4 or 5, 0.5, what should he write, meter or meters? Because you taught him the wrong thing. 1 equal to singular, 2 or more equal to plural. Now he finds it confusing. 1.7, what he will write? Neither 1 nor 2. So this is where he gets confused. So actually what you are teaching him in class 1 breaks down in class 4. He learned in class 1 and the rule breaks down in class 4. And all the private tuitions you are giving, all the things you are teaching him at home, you are breaking your heads, that is valid for 2 or 3 years. That is valid for 2 or 3 years. After that, everything goes to the dogs. Only for 2 or 3 years, okay, 2 equal to plural, 3 equal to plural, 4 equal to plural, 1 equal to singular. That's for 2 or 3 years. The moment he comes to class 4 or 5 and he has fractions, everything goes, I think, into the sea. And when he further, and when it comes to negative numbers, then everything confused. But it's not the child who is confused, it is the grammarians who are confused. The people who made grammar, they were confused. They did not know what is singular and plural. So they, in a fool's paradise, they thought only of 1, 2, 3. They never thought 0. They never thought minus 1. They never thought minus 2. They never thought 1.5. They never thought 0.5. They never thought 0.2. So this is the condition. So the child learns something in class 1 and by the time he comes to class 4, that idea is worth 0. Zero idea. That idea is gone. That idea is not even worth what you call 1 penny. And he has spent so many nights by hearting the grammar rules just for 2 or 3 years. After that, the rule is of no use. So if you had taught him in class 1, instead of saying 2 or more, if you had taught him 1 equal to singular, anything other than 1 equal to plural. Anything. If it is not 1, it is plural. Only 1, exactly 1, that is singular. Anything other than 1 equal to plural. Then he would not have been in dilemma later in life. And that's the correct rule. Except 1, all others are plural. Except 1, anything else should be plural. So 0.5, half, it is plural, meters. 1.4, it is plural, meters. Minus 1, it is units, plural. But if it is only 1, that is plus 1, then singular. 1 unit, but minus 1 units. 0.5, less than 1, meters, plural. 1.4, neither 1 nor 2, meters, plural. So even if it is less than 1, even if it is minus 1, it should be plural. Anything other than 1 should be plural. Only 1 is singular. Anything except 1 equal to plural. That's what you should have taught him. But then I told you, the grammarians made the ancient rule. Afterwards, they modified, but the authors are copying from the old books. They don't think. Grammar authors and grammar teachers, they don't think. They just copy from another book without knowing anything. And that's how they copy and paste. And finally, that's the condition. But you should have taught him 1 equal to singular, anything except 1 equal to plural. That's the correct way of teaching. Now, about singular and plural, one more thing. Now, grammar is bad enough. Grammar is bad enough. But then came a bunch of morons called educationists. Even a greater idiocy. even a greater degree of idiocy they had, even a lesser intelligence. They called themselves educationists who did not know what is education. They don't know what is education, but they are educationists. They were vain and arrogant. They thought they knew all about children and they knew nothing. They knew nothing, but they think vain, proud, arrogant. We are educationists, we know everything, but they don't know anything. So they thought that, okay, instead of singular plural, why not say one many, one singular, many plural? They are teaching like this in some classes. One many, one boy, many boys, one pen, many pens. But what about two boys? So according to the teaching, two means many. Is it? One boy, many boys. One many. There is nothing in between. There's no a few or some, nothing. Only one and many. That means if there are two boys, would that be many boys? So two equal to many. Three equal to many. If there are two boys, many boys. So the teacher will ask, how many boys are present today? Many boys. Where many boys? Only two boys are present. Only two boys are sitting in the class, and the monitor says many boys are present because you taught them. One many. Boys means many. Two equal to many. That's what you are teaching them. So this is the another bunch of jokers, another bunch of what you call buffoons, those who call themselves educationists, and instead of teaching singular plural, they teach one many. One boy, many boys, one many. So even 2 is many, 3 is many, 4 is many. So the teacher should be given, I think, the author should be given, I think, 2 rupees salary and say you are getting many rupees. Give him 2 rupees salary and say you are getting many rupees. 2 is many according to you. According to you, 2 is many. So you are getting many rupees as salary and you give him only 2 rupees. Then I think they will realize their folly. Then they will realize their idiocy. Otherwise, vain and arrogant, they are the what you call the most foolish and stupid people, and they think they know everything. So the only way to bring them back to reality is first tell them you will get many rupees as salary, and at the end of the month you give them 2 rupees because 2 equal to many according to you. So these are the another degree of buffoons and morons. These are the things which are spoiling and what you call polluting education. All polluting education. This is the thing. I think they think themselves to be very clever. Now all are fools. I am very clever, and they don't know anything. That's the educationists. Another category. Another category of buffoons and jokers and morons and I don't know what to say. So these are the people, the funny people, the circus people. They are not educationists. They are conducting circus. They are just conducting circus. This is a circus joker. They are thinking 2 equal to many, 1 equal to 1, 2 equal to many. So 2 boys means many boys. And that's a condition of education. Now, next they taught you special ways of making plural. Plural not always adding s. In plural, you don't always add s and es. There are other ways like radius, radii, ox, oxen, agendum, agenda. So they taught you these words, special ways of making plural. Well, radii we use, oxen we use. Now agendum, agenda. Agendum is singular, agenda is plural. Who uses agendum? Agendum is singular, agenda is plural. Have you seen the word agendum being used anywhere? Nobody uses. We always say agenda. The singular agendum is never used. So agenda is used as a plural or as a collective term. If you want to say singular, if you want to use it in singular sense, you don't say agendum. You say one point or one item in the agenda. For singular, you always say one point or one item in the agenda, a point in the agenda, or an item in the agenda, or an item of the agenda, a point in the agenda, but you never say agendum. So why did you learn this agendum? Agendum, agenda. Anyway, you are going to use agenda. You are not going to use agendum. Even in singular, you are not going to use agendum. And in plural, you are going to say agenda. In singular, you are going to say a point in the agenda or an item in the agenda. Why did you teach agenda? So we wasted efforts to learn. Many words are there which we never use. We unnecessarily learned all these singular, plural. We wasted time learning all this. Then you are taught a proper noun should start with a capital letter. You are taught a proper noun should start with a capital letter. Every proper noun must be capitalized. Okay, that's a very good rule. When I write Iyer, my name, I'll start with a capital I. Anyone who writes Iyer or Mr. Iyer should use capital I. Grand Iyer title. But they forgot to define what a proper noun is. A proper noun should start with a capital letter, but they forgot to define what a proper noun is. What's a proper noun? Is earth a proper noun? Because you are not capitalizing it. In most of the cases, you are writing with small e. Is sun a proper noun? Is sun a proper noun? Because you are not always capitalizing it. Jupiter, is it a proper noun? Because you always capitalize it. Pluto, Neptune, Saturn, Mars, Mercury, you are always capitalizing, but Earth, you are not always capitalizing, although all are planets. All are planets. Earth, planet, Jupiter planet, Pluto planet, Neptune planet, Saturn planet, Mercury planet, Venus planet, all are planets, but Earth is not capitalized, although it's a planet. But Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, Venus, Mars, Mercury, these are capitalized because they are planets. So what is a proper noun? If you call a particular planet, the name of a particular planet as proper noun, then Jupiter must also be a proper noun, Earth must also be a proper noun. But Earth is not capitalized, Jupiter is capitalized. And what about Sun? Sun and Proxima Centauri. Now that Proxima Centauri, that is capitalized. But Sun is not capitalized. Both are stars. Both are stars. So what a proper noun is, even that is not clear. You know, proper nouns must be capitalized, but proper noun definition is vague. Earth is not a proper noun because you are writing with small e and you are also adding the definite article the earth. Sun is not a proper noun because you are saying the sun and writing with a small letter. But Jupiter, it's a proper noun because you are writing with capital J. Neptune, proper noun, capital N. So all are planets, but Earth is not a proper noun. Jupiter, Neptune, Mars, Mercury, these are proper nouns. So you don't even know which is a proper noun and which is not a proper noun. So in class 1, they teach you country, common noun, India, proper noun. Country, any country, common noun. India, a particular country, proper noun. Planet, common noun, any planet. Earth, a particular planet, Earth, proper noun, capital. Star, common noun, any star. Sun, one particular star, proper noun, a capital S. So we see sun rising in east. We see sun rising in east. S is capital, east, E is capital. Moon goes round earth. Moon M is capital. Even if it is in the middle of a sentence, moon M will be capital. Earth E will be capital because these are proper nouns. Because you taught them. Planet is a common noun. Earth is a proper noun. One particular planet. So whenever you write earth, it should be capital. Star is a common noun. Sun, one particular star. The name of one particular star. It should be a proper noun. So S should be capital. Satellite, that's a common noun. But moon, that should be capital. It's a proper noun. That's how you taught them in class 1. So they write like this. We see sun, capital S, rising in east, capital E. Moon, capital M, goes round earth, capital E. So moon, earth, sun, these are capitalized because they are regarded as proper nouns. So in class 1 you are taught sun is a proper noun, moon is a proper noun, earth is a proper noun. By the time the child comes to class 4 or 5, he sees that not only grammar, but the whole universe is upside down. Because now they say, no need for capitalization. Write earth with small letter. Write sun with small s. Write moon with small m. No capitalization. But you have to use the definite article the sun, the earth, the moon. You always have to say the sun, the earth, the moon. And if you forget, your marks will be deducted. So capitalization vanished, the definite article comes in. Why? Why do you write sun with small s? Why do you write earth with small e and put a definite article, the earth, the sun? Because they were proper nouns when you were in class 1 or 2. Now they are not proper nouns. Now they are unique heavenly bodies. They were proper nouns. Yeah, they were proper nouns when you were in class 1, when you were in class 2. But in 3 years, by the time you come to class 3, they are not proper nouns. They have become unique heavenly bodies. The whole universe is going upside down. But then that boy asks, sir, maybe sun is a unique heavenly body, earth is a unique heavenly body, but Jupiter is also a unique heavenly body. Neptune, unique heavenly body. Venus, unique heavenly body. Saturn, unique heavenly body. Then why don't we say the Jupiter, the Neptune without capitalization? Sir says, no, that's not allowed. Jupiter, Neptune, they are proper nouns. They are proper nouns. So you will write them with capital without any article, without the definite article the. But sun, earth and moon, they are unique bodies. You will write them with the article the and without capitalization. So Jupiter is capitalized, earth is not capitalized. Both are planets. Both are planets. Earth is also a planet. Jupiter is also a planet. Neptune is also a planet. Saturn is also a planet. Mars is also a planet. Mercury is also a planet. But these will be written with capital letters, means capitalized. But sun, earth and moon will not be capitalized. Earth is also a planet, but it is not a proper noun, but others are proper nouns. So the child is even more confused. From proper nouns to unique heavenly bodies, the child is even more confused. Now the child is in class 8 or 9. And he finds that every 3 or 4 years, grammar changes. Grammar is changing every 3 or 4 years. In class 1, sun, moon, earth, proper nouns, write with capital letters, capitalize them. Then, when it comes to class 5 or 6, no, they are not proper nouns, so no capitalization, but you must write the article the earth, the moon, the sun. Okay. Now, again, when he comes to class 8 or 9, he reads in science book or in physics book. The value of G on earth is 9.8. The value of G on moon is about 1/6 of the value. So now you are saying on earth and on moon. No capitalization, no article. You're not saying on the earth. You're not saying on the moon. You're saying on earth, on moon, no capitalization, no article. And what you are saying in prayer? When you are praying, what do you say? Our Father, thou art in heaven, thy will be done on earth. Right? Our Father, thou art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy will be done on earth. You are not saying on the earth. And you are not capitalizing. See, Father, F is capital. Heaven, H is capital. But earth is not capital. And there is no definite article. You are not saying on the earth. You are saying on earth. So not only the child, even God is confused now. Even God is confused. Because earlier it was proper noun. Writing with a capital E, earth. Writing with capital M, moon. Then it became unique body. No capital, the earth, the moon. You don't say the, it's wrong. Marks gone. You should say the earth, the moon, the sun. If you do not write the, your marks will be deducted. And now when it comes to class 8 or 9, it is on earth, on moon, right? And even in prayer, it is thy will be done on earth. Without capitalization, without any article, you are not saying the earth, and you are not putting capital E, but you are saying on earth. So even God is confused, then what will the poor child do? A poor child, what do you expect even when God is confused? God is confused. So the thing is, what you should have taught is that all are correct. Capitalizing them and regarding earth, sun and moon as proper nouns, that is also correct. Regarding them as unique bodies, saying the earth, the moon, the sun, that is also correct. And neither capitalization nor the definite article saying on earth, on moon, that is also correct. That is also correct. But for saying the correct thing, the child was penalized, the marks deducted in the earlier years. But now in class 8 or 9, the same thing is correct. In prayer, the same thing is correct. But in class 5, 6, 7, you are deducting the marks for not saying the earth and the moon. And in class 1 and 2, you are deducting marks for not putting capital. And now you are saying all are correct. You can say on the earth, you can say on earth, you can write with capital starting. You can start with capital, capitalize them. You may not capitalize them. You may use the article, you may not use the article. All are correct. Then for so many years, the child was being tortured. That is the work of the grammarians and the educationists. So we discussed singular plural blunder, then proper noun and capitalization rule blunder. Now let us see apostrophe blunder. Where to put apostrophe? The rule you are taught, or the rule you teach, is put apostrophe s for singular. If it is singular, put apostrophe s. Put only apostrophe for plurals ending in s, boys, girls. Put apostrophe s for other plurals not ending in s, right? For singular, apostrophe s. For plural ending in s, only apostrophe, no s. And if the plural is not ending in s, then apostrophe s. Okay, very beautiful rule. Apostrophe s for singular. That's we are interested. We are interested in the first part. Apostrophe s for singular. That's how you taught the child. Okay, that's what you know. Most of you know, and that's what I know. That's what I also used to teach. But now becoming wiser. Fortunately, after retirement, I'm getting wiser. So anyhow, let us see how far the rule holds. So apostrophe s for singular, right? And if it is ending in s, only for plural, no apostrophe s, only apostrophe. So the boy learnt Boyle's law, perfect. Boyle apostrophe s. Now a problem. Charles' law. How will you write? Charles. It is singular, means it is a proper noun, it is a name of one person, but ending in s. So according to a rule, you must put apostrophe s. But some books write Charles apostrophe s, and some books write Charles only apostrophe. They don't write apostrophe s. They write only apostrophe. That means they are treating Charles as plural, even though it is the name of one person. They are treating it as a plural noun. Charles, it is a name, the name of a person you are treating as plural because you are putting only apostrophe. But some are correctly writing apostrophe s. But then some authors are cleverer. They get over these all this confusion in a unique way. They got innovative methods. They just write Charles Law, no apostrophe. Archimedes principle, Pythagoras theorem. They just write like that. No apostrophe, no extra S. No extra S is there, no apostrophe is there. Just write Charles, write law. No apostrophe. So which is correct? All are correct. All are correct. When you write Charles law, means you put Charles ending in S, then another apostrophe S. That is a traditional grammar, the very traditional orthodox grammar, because it is singular, it is the name of a person, it cannot be plural. Although proper nouns we don't divide them into singular and plural, but still it is something like singular, the name of one person. So the right Charles, let it end in S, but they put again apostrophe S. Then some people try to give it a plural like nature, they put only apostrophe. Okay, and now the authors, they have dispensed with all the confusions and they write Charles, no apostrophe, no extra S. Archimedes rule, no apostrophe, no extra S. Pythagoras theorem, no apostrophe, no extra S. Although in some books they write Pythagorean, that they write. Sometimes they write Pythagorean, but if they write Pythagoras, even then Pythagoras rule, Pythagoras theorem, they do not put any apostrophe. So they have made it even simpler. But the point to note is that all are correct. All are correct. But you are confusing the child with all useless rules. All are correct. Putting apostrophe S, Charles apostrophe S. That is correct. That is a traditional grammar. Charles only apostrophe. It is correct because by usage. And not putting anything, neither apostrophe nor any extra S. Just write Charles law, Archimedes rule, as it is given the last line. That is also correct. All are correct. So the rules which you are making, or the stupid grammarians were making, without knowing anything, not taking into consideration the demands of the language, how language would be used in real society, in real life, in practical world. I think I should say the world, I don't know. But in how you will use, they had no idea of that. So they made some rules, some are obeying, some are not obeying, and all are correct. Charles law, no apostrophe, no S, correct. Archimedes rule. See the last line. This is how they write in many books, and perfectly correct. Nothing wrong with that. So you are unnecessarily, what do you call, confusing the child with all these rules. Now, by the way, what they taught you about preposition? What did they say about a preposition? In class 1 and 2, they taught you a word placed before a noun or a pronoun and then blah 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 blah. So a word placed before a noun or pronoun or whatever may be the purpose. Now the English class ended. The English teacher was teaching to a class 1 boy. So class 1 boy, he got it into his head. Preposition is a word placed before a noun or pronoun. The remaining thing he did not understand. In class 1, the definition is so complicated, it doesn't enter the head of a class 1 child. But he understood this much. Preposition is a word placed before a noun. Now the English class ended. English teacher out, science teacher in. Now the science teacher, when entering or after entering, the first question is, what is sun made of? By the way, and that class 1, they write sun with a capital S. Afterwards, they move to the sun and then only sun with small letter. Anyway, what is sun made of? Answer, sun is made of hot burning gases. Right? Sun is made of hot burning gases. So the question is, what is sun made of? What is that of? Preposition should be placed before a noun or pronoun. what is off? Off is before question mark. So is a question mark a noun? You are saying a preposition is a word placed before a noun, and here you are saying what is sun made of and putting a question mark. So according to the child, the question mark is a noun. The question mark is a noun. That's why you are putting off before that, because a preposition should be placed before a noun. So here you are putting it before a question mark. So question mark is a noun. And so much for preposition being defined as a word before a noun. And it is coming after everything. It's not coming before a noun. It's only coming before a question mark. So maybe the question mark is a noun. And these oversmart, stupid grammar authors, I think they think themselves to be very clever. They explain like this. See, preposition, pre means before, position means place. So preposition must be placed before. That's how they think they are very clever. See, explaining. Oversmart. Oversmart stupidity. They are saying pre means before, position means place. So a preposition must be placed before a noun. And then you are saying what is the sun made of? Of is at the end. See the dumb circus they are running. Then why do you teach like that? Why do you teach pre equal to before, position equal to place, a preposition is always placed before a noun or a pronoun? Why are you teaching all this? When ultimately you have to teach what is the sun made of? The sun or whatever it is, either with capitalization or without capitalization, with article, without article, whatever nonsense it is. Now why are you teaching all these things? Preposition is a place before a noun, and then again explaining. See, pre means before, position means place, and what is the first question? What is the sun made of? Of at the end. So that's what I told you. All the stupid people running a circus. They are not in education, they are in circus. All the buffoons are here. So at one point of time they used to teach you. Probably you have learnt, or you can find this in grammar book. One should do one's duty. If you say one should do his duty, that is regarded as wrong grammar. One should do his duty is wrong grammar. You have to say one should do one's duty. It was even given for correction exams. In exams, the question would be set for correction. Correct the following sentences. One should do his duty. That's the wrong sentence. You have to correct it and write one should do one's duty. In the exam, the instruction is correct the following sentences. Write the corrected sentences. Right? Correct the grammatical error in the following sentences, and one of them would be one should do his duty. You have to write the sentence is wrong. The corrected sentence is one should do one's duty, not his duty. You meticulously learn these rules, and in case you did not learn, you would be getting a poor grade and your parents would be shouting at you or putting an extra grammar teacher. Now, okay, all these things you learned through schools, maybe colleges, maybe universities, all the things you learned, and this and many other rules, all these. You learned all this. What happened? Then when you came into real life, that is when you started using language in practical life, what happened? Bang! The rule is no longer valid. It's not followed anymore. Now, you know that one should do his duty is a correct sentence. The modern English accepts it. They admit. No, it's not necessary to write one's duty. Even if you write one should do his duty, it is correct. Now they admit. At that time they did not admit, now they admit. So it's no longer a rule. The rule is gone. So all the hours you wasted and all the tension you gave to your parents when you got poor grades in English grammar, so that is for nothing, because now it is correct. Now English says one should do one's duty is also correct, but it is a bit outdated and archaic. And if you say one should do his duty, that is also correct and modern English. So the rule is gone. Why the rule changed, or why the people change the rule? The grammarians don't change. The grammarians are stupid people. Why did the people change the rule? Because it wasn't practical, it was not rational, it was not justifiable, it was not logical. So in school days you have to obey them, otherwise your teacher would not give you marks. So for the sake of getting a good grade, you followed all this meticulously. But now, after passing out of schools and colleges, now you know that now nobody is there to control you, nobody is there to deduct marks. So you say one should do his duty, and everyone is saying that. And now the English is yielding and saying, okay, we accept that as correct sentence. Now English is accepting. So all the hours you wasted, all the money your parents wasted for giving you a grammar teacher, all the money you wasted in buying newer grammar books, more and more grammar books, all are wasted. All are wasted. So it was not practical, it was not rational, it was not logical, it was not justifiable. It was a humbug coming out of some stupid grammarian's fancy imagination. In dinner, I think he ate too much and he had a nap, he dozed off, and he had a dream, some aliens coming into his head and saying, make this rule, one should be followed by once, and he made the rule. He did not understand. And another stupid author copied it, and a second stupid author copied it from the first author, a third stupid author copied it from the second stupid author, and the teacher taught you that. And now that you are out of school, now what you are writing? One should do his duty, and that is perfectly valid, perfectly correct. So all this tension for nothing. In school days, your parents shouting at you, your teacher wasting a lot of red ink. The red pen actually factory runs because of the teachers. If the teachers are not there, the exams are not there, and these grammar books are not there, I think the factory making red pens would actually close down and no one would buy red pens. So they are used by teachers. So what happened? All the money wasted, all the hours wasted, all the tension, stress, ultimately it is for what? Nothing. You make your own rule and English will accept that, yes, one should do his duty is a perfectly correct sentence. In fact, one should do one's duty is correct but archaic, and one should do his duty is considered more modern English. What was wrong now has become modern, and what was correct has become archaic. So this is the thing. I told you now, all these grammarians, I think they live in a fancy world of imagination, making rules that are impractical, irrational, unjustifiable, and illogical, giving unnecessary tension to people, and wasting a lot of time. You have to buy grammar books, then your parents would give you another grammar teacher, all these useless things. But one should do his duty is now perfectly correct. Now we are coming to another thing. Degrees of comparison, adjective, right? So they taught comparative degree means 2, superlative degree means 3 or more, right? Comparative degree means 2, superlative degree means 3 or more. And you did a lot of exercise. Taller of the two, tallest of all, the tallest boy in the class. Of the two brothers, Hari is taller. Of all the boys in the class, Hari is the tallest. And you learned all that. Now, of course, now again, that stupid educationist who was teaching one many, instead of singular plural, he was teaching one many. So according to him, two equal to many. 3 also equal to many. 2 equal to many, 3 equal to many, but 2 is comparative, 3 is superlative, so comparative equal to superlative. That's a stupid educationist that if you follow him, you will come to this conclusion. If you follow that stupid educationist who are saying don't teach singular plural, teach one many, so 2 is many, right? 2 boys you are saying, 3 also many, 3 boys, both are plural. So 2 equal to 3, comparative equal to superlative. That is the stupidity of the educationist. Anyhow, let that educationist go. Now, so we did a lot of exercise saying that you must use comparative degree for 2 and superlative degree for 3 or more. And then came the great idiom, put the best foot forward. How many feet do you have? How many feet do you have? If you have 2 feet, then it should be comparative. And if you are a donkey, if you have 4 feet, then it's okay. For donkeys, it's okay. 4 feet they have, so they will put the best foot forward. But for human beings with 2 feet, what they will do? Right? That's why the modern government, they have very thoughtfully included dogs and cats in the voters list. Now dogs and cats can vote. They have voting power. They're very thoughtful, very brilliant idea. But apart from the voting idea, what will you say if you have 2 feet? What will you say? 2 means comparative. So you have 2 feet, yet you are using the superlative degree. So the thing is that the idiom creator and the grammar creator, they were fighting with each other. The person who is creating idioms and the person who is making grammar, they are enemies. One is saying, I will not obey you, and he is saying, I will not obey you. So the idiom creator was very angry. What kind of grammar creator you are? You are creating new grammar. I will not obey. So even if you have 2 feet, I will say put the best foot. That means even for 2, I will use superlative. And they are fighting. The idiom maker and the grammar creator, they are fighting. And in the meantime, what happens? Children in school are suffering. That is the result of having people who are specialized in idioms and people who are specialized in grammar. They don't agree with each other, and all the stress, the torture is on the students. There is a result. There is the education system. Now we are coming to a bigger blunder, or shall we say the biggest one? It's a big blunder, but what we should say, a bigger one or the biggest one? Adjectives and adverbs. Well, the first point, the fight was between the use of the correct word. They always insisted with adjective you use the word qualifies, and with adverb you use the word modifies. Adjective qualifies a noun or pronoun. Adverb modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. Anyway, that part we will come to later. But the point was, when you define adjective, you should write qualifies. Adjective qualifies. When you say a tall boy, tall qualifies the word boy. An adverb modifies. Okay, he fought bravely. Bravely modifies the verb fought. Always that fight was there. Whenever you say adjective, you have to say qualify, and whenever you say adverb, you have to say modify. Well, soon that distinction got blurred because in that copy pasting, some grammarians confused that. Some grammar authors confused. That was in the original one. But when they were doing that copy paste, some of the grammar authors somehow mixed it up and they began to use modifies and qualifies interchangeably. Sometimes they would say adjective modifies and sometimes they would say adverb qualifies. That did not result from deliberate, they wanted to do it, not a deliberate work, not a deliberate violation. But the thing was, all these grammar authors copying from one book to another, so they got mixed up. While copying, something got mixed up. Why nakal may be akal chahiye. Even for copying, you need some brains. That also they don't have. So that distinction got blurred, and all the qualifies modifies fight came to an end. And many people were writing adjective modifies. Some people were writing adverb qualifies. That part is gone. And next, the question is, what do they qualify or modify? They should qualify or modify what? Now again confusion. What they should qualify or modify, or what they ought to qualify or modify, again confusion. Because no one knew anything. All the grammar authors just copying, copy paste, all cheating going on. Nobody knows anything. So again that confusion. So let us see what actually they qualify or modify. So what do adverbs modify or qualify? Traditionally we must say modify, but sometimes they use qualify and modify interchangeably. So what do they modify? An adverb modifies a verb or an adjective or another adverb. An adverb modifies a verb or an adjective or another adverb. That was usually the standard definition given in most books. And that's what we learned, that's what we wrote, that's what the teacher taught us. And if you wrote this, you got full marks. But some authors, for example, Nesfield, had a dissenting note. They did not agree. The whole world, or I should say the whole grammar authors, of course, authors means they are copy pasting, not that they are using their brains. They are copying from somewhere and pasting in their own book. That's okay. But even that copy paste, the definition given in most books, an adverb modifies a verb or an adjective or another adverb. But Nesfield had a dissenting view. No, that's not correct. He said adverbs need not modify only verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Right? Why are you confining adverbs modify? Why are you confining only to verbs, adjectives, adverbs? They can modify anything, any other parts of speech. And they can also modify whole sentences. So they can modify any other parts of speech. They can also modify whole sentences, except nouns and pronouns, because that department belongs to adjective. So nouns and pronouns, you make the exception, because that will go to the adjective. That is the prerogative of the adjective. So an adverb can modify any word other than nouns and pronouns. Any word it can modify other than nouns and pronouns. Any word adverbs can modify. So now the new definition. An adverb can modify any word except nouns and pronouns. So even what they qualify and what they modify, even here they are not very clear. Some are saying adverbs modify adjectives, adverbs, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. And some are saying they can qualify any part of speech, they can qualify even the whole sentence. So anything other than nouns and pronouns, they can modify. Adverbs can modify anything other than nouns and pronouns. So even here, confusion, all confusion. Now we come to the biggest folly, the biggest idiocy, the most ludicrous and hilarious part of grammar. Now we are talking of adjective, how they defined when we were in school, that means 50 or 100 years ago, and how they are defining now. They are making it more and more ludicrous. They are making it more and more nonsense. They are making it more and more absurd. It was already absurd, now they are making it more absurd. So adjective, initially, I'm not talking about the modern grammar book, I'm talking about the older grammar book. So in the older grammar book, any book, how did they define? At least in lower classes, what did you learn? Adjective adds something to the meaning of a noun. Adds. Adding something to the meaning, adding extra meaning or adding extra information. That's what you learned. The adjective when you learn, they add something to the meaning of a noun, right? That means they are giving you some extra information. Like tall boy. If you say only boy, that's a noun. Tall boy, you are describing the boy. You are getting some extra information about the boy. When you say sugar, okay, sugar. But when you say 1 kilogram, that means you are adding the information, the mass or weight of the sugar. So it adds extra information. That was fine. Although which boy? Which boy? Now which is supposed to be an adjective, but is it adding information or asking for information? You are saying which boy. Are you adding information or are you asking for information? Anyway, that's okay. But the funniest part is yet to come. That is in modern grammar. The funniest part. How the modern grammarians have outwitted the older grammarians in stupidity. That is what we are going to discuss. And let us see. Now, suddenly, one daydreaming grammar expert. He did not know anything about English, but he thought he was a grammar expert. He had an absurd fancy. He introduced determiners. He thought he was very clever. He introduced a new group, determiners, which actually was a useless classification. Determiners do nothing except to burden a helpless child. Determiners do nothing except to add tension to frustrated parents. Just a worthless name given to an artificial group which are not well defined. An ill-defined, blurring, vague group. He created determiners which actually has no practical utility. The logic, of course, even the logic is not clear, but still, the logic they gave. But the logic, when you apply in reality, the logic will break down. The logic will break down, but still, the logic the grammarians gave, adjectives which are descriptive means add extra information. They give extra information. And adjectives which are restrictive, which limit the application of the noun reference. They called it nominal reference. Adjective will always refer to a noun or noun equivalent. They called it nominal. So, which will restrict the nominal reference, and adjectives which add. So, some adjectives will limit the application of the nominal reference, and some adjectives will give extra information. They divided it as adjectives and determiners, and one by one, adjective of quantity, interrogative adjective, adjective of number, all of them were shifted to determiners, and only adjective of quality still remains in the original adjective group. But this classification is an artificial one because the distinction is totally blurred. The distinction is totally hazy because what you call descriptive, I can make it restrictive, and what you call restrictive, I can make it descriptive. Let us see. Now, so according to them, a red flower, red is descriptive. It adds information. Only if I say flower, you get a meaning. If I say red flower, you get some extra information. It is descriptive. That's why it is still in the adjective group. If you say my father, my, that is restrictive. It limits or narrows the reference. The reference or the application of the noun is restricted. My father, not anybody else's father, not your father, not his father, only my father. So that is called determiner. That is a stupid grammarian's viewpoint. It's not my viewpoint. That is a stupid grammarian's viewpoint, that if you say my father, my is restricting. You can't apply this noun father to any person. That's what he thought. Now, if you're having 10 books, right? You're having 10 books, of which 3 are fat. 3 books are fat books and others are thin books. 7 thin books and 3 fat books. And you say a book. Now, a book is determiner. It restricts a reference to one book only. Although your choice is 10. Out of 10, you can take any one. The options would be 10. But if you say fat book, you are supposed to add information descriptive, because fat is an adjective of quality. It's not a determiner. So it is supposed to add information. But in this context, saying a fat book restricts your choice. The book now can be applied only to the 3 fat books out of 10. So now your options are restricted. Just like a book means one book, your choice is restricted. Here also, when you say fat book, your choice becomes restricted. Only those 3 books, you have to give only one of those 3, not one of 10, one of 3. So your choice is narrowed down, your option is narrowed down. Again, the same restrictive sense applies, but because it is adjective of quality, you cannot call it restrictive. You have to say it adds information. According to grammar, it adds information, but according to the context, it is actually restricting. So what is the difference between determiner and adjective? Here also fat, it is restricting. There are 10 books. It is restricting the application of the nominal reference, the reference of the noun, the book, the noun, to any of the 3 books and not the others. That means it is excluding the 7 books. So here also it is restrictive. Here also it is restrictive. Out of 10, only those 3. It is narrowed down. It is narrowed down to those 3. The other 7 thin books are out of the reckoning. So here also it is restrictive. But according to grammar, because it is an adjective of quality, it has to be descriptive. It cannot be restrictive. So what is the logic behind this one? That article, possessives, distributives, they are determiners, and adjective of qualities, they are descriptive. Where is the logic behind this? That's what I'm asking. This is also restricting. So the intended purpose of creating a new group called determiners fails. The purpose fails. You unnecessarily created a new group called determiners to distinguish between restrictive and descriptive types of attributes, and the intended purpose has failed, because even your adjective of quality that can be restrictive in certain cases, and the so-called determiners can also add extra information in certain contexts. My father, restrictive, okay. Although nowadays people may have many fathers. Anyway, that's gone. But tall man, you think tall because it is the adjective of quality. It cannot be restrictive. It has to be descriptive. But it could be restrictive if you are trying to identify a person in a crowd. There's a crowd of say 7 or 8, and you are trying to point out one particular person, and you are saying that person, just like demonstrative adjective, you are saying that person, and you are saying tall man. That means you are restricting the application of the noun man to that one person or 2 persons who are tall. Maybe in the crowd of 7 or 8, only 2 are tall. So when you say tall men, you are actually restricting the application to one of the 2. So here also you are restricting. But because it is adjective of quality, adjectives of qualities cannot be restrictive, they cannot be determiners, they have to be descriptive. They should add information, and they cannot be restrictive in nature. But here also it is restricting. My father, my is restrictive. Tall man, tall is also restricting here. The same way, you have to point out one person or one of the two persons among the crowd. So what was achieved by creating determiners? What did they really achieve by separating the so-called descriptive words and so-called restrictive words? The restrictive words and descriptive words, what actually they achieved? Because they included all adjectives in determiners except adjective of quality, but even that condition is failing. Even that condition fails. So what is the use of that group? What was the use? When the main purpose, the intended purpose has failed, then why you are keeping that unnecessary group? So the intended purpose of creating determiners flop, full flop. Because actually, according to context, what you are calling descriptive, adjective of quality, that can be restrictive, and what you are calling restrictive, that is determiners, that can be descriptive. So if I wasn't convinced of their stupidity, I would have labeled the grammarians as sadists, deriving pleasure by putting useless pressure on students. Probably that is a sadistic nature. By putting students in trouble, by torturing the children, they get pleasure. That's why they are creating all the useless nonsense groups which have actually no utility in real life. This stupid expert who created this fancy group had no idea how language would be used in real life and in real world. I have 5 rupees. 5 may be an extra information, although you are calling it determiner. And a tall boy, tall may be restrictive in certain context, even though you are calling it adjective of quality, descriptive. So the words are according to context. You can't be always dividing like determiners, adjectives, attributes, something which adds to the meaning, something which restricts the reference, or not always, but unnecessarily. By creating a group, by adding a new chapter, what you have done? Only extra torture on children, nothing else. Extra torture on children. So that is a sadistic pleasure, or they are so stupid. They are zero IQ people who do not understand English at all. They don't understand English and they think they are grammarians. That's the only conclusion I can draw, unless they are really misanthropic people who derive pleasure by torturing the school children. Now, what they are, I don't know. Now I leave it to you. I rest my case. So what is the conclusion? We are teaching useless things which will not be valid in later life. All the rules, they will become invalid, outdated, useless in later life, but we are burdening the students with all these worthless rules. Learn all the rules, they will change after 3 years. Again learn all the rules, they will change after another 3 years. And again learn all the rules. Then when you actually come to the real world, the rules are not valid at all. All the time you spent, wastage of time, wastage of money, wastage of unnecessary stress, and not only your stress, your guardian, your parents. Why you are getting poor marks? All are useless rules. Like our government, the worst education policy in the world that is made by the government is 3-language policy. The worst policy, the most useless and worthless policy the government has made is 3-language policy. And what you are saying? Tamil Nadu does not teach Hindi, so Tamil Nadu is uncivilized. The whole of Tamil Nadu is uncivilized because Hindi is not being taught. Only learning Hindi will make you civilized. Not learning Hindi means uncivilized. And if you speak in any other language, you should be ashamed. That is also there. You can't speak in mother tongue. If you speak in your mother tongue, if you speak in Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu, Marathi, you are uncivilized. You should be ashamed. Only Hindi will make you civilized. Only Hindi you can be proud. So this is the hopeless condition of education, and all the illiterate, uneducated, stupid morons, what they are saying, Hanuman was the first to go into space, Ganapati received the first plastic surgery, all this nonsense. These are the ministers. I don't know who made them ministers. They may not even know the spelling of minister. But these are ministers. Why? For bootlicking. Bootlicking one sahib. For bootlicking one sahib, for psychophancy, they are made ministers. They don't know anything. I wonder if they know even how to write their names. And they become great educationists. They think themselves to be. They are the most stupid morons in the world. They are ministers. So why you are burdening your child with useless things which they are not going to need later in life, and you are not teaching them what they need in later life? And you are saying educated, unemployed. They will be unemployed because you are teaching them these things. By learning, Hanuman was the first person to go into space. And if you do not learn Hindi, you will be uncivilized. All the other languages are nonsense. Only Hindi is a language. You are not going to get jobs. You are not going to get jobs. So you will remain educated and employed with a degree that is worthless. That is more worthless than the sahib who has no degree, or who has a fake degree, or who is hiding the degree. Entire political science. Why not entire world? Get a degree in entire world. Anyway, that stupidity is there. The person who cannot even say a sentence without a teleprompter, who maybe he does not even know more than signing his own name, that person is entire political science. Why not entire world? Entire universe, you put it. Now you know the entire universe. So this is the condition of pathetic condition of education. We need to teach them rational thinking, scientific temper, not worthless superstition and mythology, and not useless rules which are going to change every 2 or 3 years and ultimately become absolutely worthless when the child becomes an adult. Absolutely worthless, all the rules. He was by hearting in the grammar book, none of the rules are valid. So let us make education a tool for change, not a tool for burden. Education should not be a tool for vote bank. For the government, it's a tool for vote bank. So education should not be a tool for vote bank. Education should not be a tool for torturing the child. Education should not be a tool for giving commissions to publishers. Education should not be a tool for some private schools to make money. Education should be a tool for social transformation, meaningful education, scientific education. That's what we need. So the moment we rectify our education system, all the ills of the society will vanish. All the troubles plaguing the society will vanish once you make education a real tool for social transformation. Once you change the education system, every sorrow, every problem will vanish. There will be no problem. Actually, problems are created by politicians, but if the education is there, people will see through their cunning, fake deception, and will not vote for them. They will vote for the right people. They will not fall into the vote chori scam. They will vote for the right people. They will not fall for jumlas. They will not fall for all Mr. Surrender, but they will vote for the right people, and an education system which really transforms the society and solves the problem, not creates problem. The present education system is creating problem. We should have education system that solves problem. So the only thing to make a society beautiful, any society, it can be India, it can be America, it can be Japan, it can be China, any society, if you want to make it a beautiful, happy society, the only tool is the right education system, the right education policy. So we will meet again. Till then, thank you and goodbye.